I also see I also see Marie and Alessia también. Entonces, nice to see you again.
Yeah, so I have just started recording. I hope you don't mind. So then we will be able to share this recording with our founders internally. So I'll keep adding new participants, but I think we can start already. So Arthur, please, let's start with a short introduction. Tell us what you do in Zendesk. What are your main responsibilities?
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Dasha. It's nice to see you all here. You will see that my accent's from Brazil. Probably you know some Brazilian people, and I am from Brazil. I started my career in entrepreneurship, I would say. I was co-founder of startup here in Brazil in 2012. Spent 5 years with that startup. Then I moved to WeWork. Probably you also know WeWork is a co-working company, started in New York, became the biggest co-working space in the world. I was business development director for WeWork Brazil for almost 5 years again. And very recently, I would say 9 months, I believe now, almost 10 months, I came to Zendesk to run the startups program for Zendesk Latam. When we say Latam, for us, it's Miami and the other countries south to Miami, because Miami for us, it's America, but it's also Latino America because we have so many people from Brazil, Mexico, Cuba, and many other countries there. So yeah, so my role and my mission now is to spread the word around about Zendesk, about the benefits that we have for startups, creating community in these different countries of Latam, focusing especially 2023 with Mexico, Colombia, and Brazil and Miami. Of course, that's why we're here. So it's nice to see you all, and I think we'll have a nice presentation. Of course, we want this to be also not like a one-man show, but a conversation, right? That we can exchange ideas. So back to you, Dasha.
Okay, so amazing. So Arthur, as you told us, Zendesk has made a research with over 4,600 startups. So highlighting the best practices in customer experience and support. So could you please start and tell us more? So how high growth startups?
Yeah, I brought a presentation actually, if I may.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Let's do it. Let me share the screen here. Just a second.
Yeah, sure. We know that customer experience matters a lot. So we are really thrilled and excited to learn more about that. And how can you actually turn these best practices into growing your company?
Exactly. So that's the theme of the day, unlocking growth through customer experience. So that's the idea of our conversation. Of course, I'll be talking a lot of about different items, but everyone in line here online can interrupt me and ask me questions. I think it's a small group, right? Normally, when it's a very big group, what I do, I say, let's keep the questions for the end. But as I see here, probably like 10 people, something like that, right, Dasha? So I think we can be interrupted as it's not a lot of...
yeah, absolutely. If anyone has any questions, feel free to raise your hand and the floor will be yours.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Dasha. So just for you all to know, we did a research. We have this program, and that's for startup program. And we have more than 4,600 people interviewed for this research that I will show you in a couple of minutes. So that's why I wanted, when I talked to Marie and Dasha, I said, maybe this is an important item, an important subject for founders and people working with startups, right? At the end of the day, we know that customer is the most important thing for us all, right? If you have the amazing idea, if you have incredible product, incredible team, but you don't have customers, you don't have a business, right? You need customers to have a business. So I think this is fundamental for our success. So this is going to be the topic of the day, unlocking growth through customer experience. And I will show you the research that we did and some six practical points that we think you should invest and implement in your startup to make success. Okay, so moving ahead. Here, little bit about Zendesk. Probably you all know us. We started in Denmark, but actually we became what we became in San Francisco, California. It's an American company, I would say now. More than 170,000 clients worldwide. You see on your right side of your screen, you will see some big companies that started with the startup program and became what they, big companies like Stripe, Zoom, and Slack, for example. So we're very proud of the customers that we have here. And today we're going to discuss why CX, what we call customer experience, should matter to you, right? And of course, uncovering what the CX tactics for high growth, as I talked to you before, and difference between those startups that have implemented it and against those that didn't do it. So once again, 4,600 startups examined, and top reasons I think you all know. I will go very quickly through these 5 topics here. It promotes long-term customer retention. Of course, customer is the main thing of your business. It establishes brand trust in the market. It can shape your product roadmap. It helps identify cross-sell opportunities, and of course can help you with recruitment once you have people talking good things about your company, right? So top reasons for you to invest and pay attention with CX. Also, we at Zendesk, we don't say CX is a cost. We say customer experience is a growth lever. And as you know, the world has become even more competitive. We say it's a buyer's world, internet, the facilities of now opening a business you have 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Imagine how you would open your business, right? Much more expensive. Today you can try a lot of things for free. You have a lot of good companies offering startups things for free, like we do. So it's easier, not very easy, but easier to open your own business. It becomes more competitive, so the power goes to the buyer, right? We've seen 70% higher cost of acquisition. You can see here in this slide that the cost of acquisition has increased significantly since 2014 to now 2022, 2023. So we need to pay attention to that, because otherwise we won't transform, as we say, investment into growth. That's what we want to do here, right? Consumer willingness to pay has declined. Of course, competition, there are a lot of options. They want to pay less and less. So also higher expectations and hard to please. So that's why we believe at Zendesk that you, as founder and a member of a founding team or member of a startup, you have to see growth not only as acquire, but acquire plus retain. And that's one thing that we see a lot of startups committing this mistake, is like, okay, acquire, grow, and they don't have a customer experience or customer success strategy. So you put people in, and suddenly all the money that you invest, all the efforts, they will go out on the other side. So retaining is as important or even more important than acquiring. So investing in CX has a significant impact on your revenue, and you can see this on the screen, that retention, that's what we want to put the good word here for all of you, that retention is as important as acquisition. And it leads to growth, yes. So that's why we understand that, unfortunately, more than 70% of small business don't have a formal strategy for customer experience. That's what our report said, this research that we did. And that's why we want to bring 6 things hyper growth startups are doing differently from the rest. And that's, I think, the point that I would like you to pay more attention in my, I would say 40 something minute talk here with you, is that these are practical things. I talk about Zendesk, I talk a little bit about the scenario, I talk about the importance of retention, but now it's a practical, I would say 6 things that every founder and founding team and people from startups should be doing different from the rest. And this will lead, according to our research, to higher growth in your startup.
That sounds very interesting. Let's see what are these 6 things are.
That's the moment, right, Dasha? And of course, I think that's the moment that I stop very quickly to ask, is everybody on board? Is everybody feeling okay? Should I continue? Any questions so far? I don't think so, right? I think that's the time when we'll bring more practical things now. Okay. Once again, if you want, just interrupt me because we have a small group, so no problem here. So 6 things hyper growth startups are doing differently from the rest. Let's go ahead. So target number 1. This is, of course, you will say, oh, yeah, you were saying that because you're from Zendesk, but don't take this only as Zendesk saying. Take this as a, ex-founder now working with Zendesk, because once a founder, I always say once a founder, always a founder. I know the pains and the difficulties of being an entrepreneur. And I do remember when I had my startup that I founded in 2012, I delayed a little bit to put my, platform of customer experience and customer success. Maybe now, if I should go back or could go back, I would, accelerate that. So that's the target number 1, the tip number 1. Add a platform within 9 to 10 months after fundraising. Why we say fundraising? Because then, of course, you already have team. You can have people taking care of the subject. You have probably more clients, right? If you are on idea only, probably you don't have clients, and if you don't have clients, you don't need necessarily a platform like ours now. But this is one important point. Oh, I don't like Zendesk, for example. Take another one. There are other competition there. Of course, I believe Zendesk is the best. That's why I'm here. So be aware that it's important for you to bring the platform right away. Go out of the email, right? Go out of the doing, responding through WhatsApp or responding through email or messaging with your clients to our omni-channel solution. That's Zendesk, and then you can, of course, manage that and see results and even create different profiles from your team. So that's very obvious. And 33% more likely to add support in first year if you compare higher growth on your left, the blue, lighter blue, with the darker blue, stagnant. You will see that I will compare a lot higher growth on your left side of the screen, lighter blue, with darker blue, stagnant. So 33% more likely, they're higher growth, or 33% more likely to add support in the first year. And when we say support here, is a platform, a software for support. Zendesk is one, probably the best, but you have others in the market if you don't like Zendesk. So important to have something here and get out of your, manual everything that you're doing. Second thing, so remember, I told you 6 things that we understood and researched that higher growth companies do more than stagnant or normal growth companies. So make it easy to reach you. Okay, so that's number 2. And when we say that is create, especially I think now with messaging, right? People in Latin America specifically, and I think it's growing in the United States also, people are reaching you with WhatsApp or messaging all the time. And I remember once I was a mentor for a company, and this company, the founder created a marketplace between students and teachers, was a marketplace to facilitate the learning from students who were having difficulties at school. And he was very worried because he said, I built this beautiful platform. I created my own app, but everybody wants to talk to the teacher via WhatsApp. So the tip here for you all, it's make it easy to reach you. Bring omni-channel, whatever channel. That's again, when you have a platform like ours or others in the market, a competitor of Zendesk or Zendesk even, they normally can give you omni-channel reach. So if they come through email, if they come through WhatsApp, if they even come from social media, you will have all these channels open to communicate with your customer, and you will have that centralized unique dashboard.
Yeah,
So number 2.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that really this is, I guess, the easiest tip that you can give, but it really matters a lot because even as a customer, when I'm trying, to get some information and I'm struggling, it is so annoying, right? So, and especially we taking into account all these young generation that don't like calling or like sending emails, that want to get information fast. I guess it's super important, right?
Exactly, Dasha. Very good point. And one very important point that you mentioned, Dasha, is that you will see according to the sorry, I think I hear some sound from maybe Nadim.
Yeah.
Nadim wants to, okay. So I think she was on not on mute. So depending also, very good point from Dasha, depending on the age of your customer, you will see, I will talk more about that. But if you go to generation Z, right, the new generation, they don't like, because maybe they were born with internet and messaging, everything else very fast, right? They like resolving things on their own. They like to resolve things with messaging very quickly. If you go more to the baby boomers or the older generation, they will want to call you, right? I think you have one uncle or aunt or father or mother, whatever, depends on your age, that they don't like this messaging thing. They don't like, self-service. They don't want to solve the things by themselves. So what they want is call. They want to call, they want to speak to a human being. So what we say here is in this tip or two is make every channel available, from telephone to WhatsApp to email, and Zendesk is a platform that can help integrate with all these channels and make it easier for you. Okay, so number two, don't let the customer with only one kind of channel to reach you.
Yeah. I'm just also sorry, want to add for those who just joined that we're talking about six things that can really help you, right, Arthur? So just like to remind everyone what we're discussing right now, because a couple of participants just have joined.
Oh yeah, thank you very much, Dasha. So welcome, people that join now. We now are talking about six practical points, I would say, that you can do with your startup to increase customer experience. Of course, we understand that customer experience brings growth, and that's what we're going to do here with the 6 tips that we researched with more than 4,000 startups. What are the things you should do to become a higher growth startup and not stagnant startup? So 33 also more likely to add omni-channel by year number 2. So you'll see lighter blue on higher growth, darker blue, stagnant. So that's tip number 2. For you that missed tip number 1, tip number 1 was add a platform, a support customer experience platform 9 to 10 months after fundraising, after things get really real. And number 2 was omni-channel, bring every channel available. And we talked about different ages, etc. Let's go to number 3. Okay, and this point number 3, I used to do one kind of Dasha, one kind of explanation in this number 3, but now with artificial intelligence, I have number 3 and I have 3.1 or 3.2. I have 3. That's going to be even more interesting. We were talking here that some people like chat, some people like to call, some people like email, depending on the generation mostly. Some people want real people, some other people want robots or etc. So what we discover here, this of course was done before this explosion of AI that is everywhere now, and I will talk a little bit about Zendesk AI, which will be Zendesk AI will be launched tomorrow at our event called Relate in San Francisco. So that's a parenthesis that I'll talk very soon. But we understood that people wanted to talk to real after having all the omni-channel that we mentioned. If they don't solve it through the omni-channel or automatic response, they would like to have live channels, right? So one pro tip here is adding chat in first 12 months after funding, and adding phone after 17 months. These 12 and 17 were benchmarks that we discovered through our research with more than 4,000 companies, what they did right, what they didn't do very correctly. So 12 months for chat and 17 months for phone. But now let me give a parenthesis here because I think it's important. With this new technology becoming available called Open, you all know about OpenAI and ChatGPT. I don't know if you saw in the media that Zendesk is doing a partnership with ChatGPT and OpenAI. So we are integrating this technology into our platform. So tomorrow, worldwide, I'm giving you a breaking, almost like a breaking news, but tomorrow we will see more in the news and media. We are going to release Zendesk AI, and we'll have advanced chatbot instead of the old chatbot that you all know. So you will have, let me use this expression, ChatGPT capability in Zendesk to have the chat being more automatically and more human-like, right? Also, with advanced AI that we are launching tomorrow with our product, you will, when you receive the information and contact from the customers, our intelligence, our artificial intelligence will be even capable of discerning the sentiment of the message. So we will be saying this is a positive, this is a neutral, this is a negative message. And we'll have automatic responses that are more like humans and less like the old chat bots that you all know from before. So that's just a parenthesis here that I would like to say to you all. So pay attention tomorrow for the news of Zendesk AI. Will be launched tomorrow in our event in San Francisco.
Congrats, amazing.
That's very good, right, Dasha? But back to our focus here. Target number 3, build plans for live channels. And 20% more likely to add live channels by year 2. So if you compare, again, higher growth with stagnant, 20% more likely the higher growth to add chat, live chat, and will become even more stronger with the AI chat by year number 2. And 16 more agents assigned to live chat on average. So also you will start with the chatbot, but then you have the opportunity after. Sometimes you will solve the things with the automatic chatbot, the robot. If you don't resolve, you have agents assigned to jump in and use the live chat on top of that. And the higher growth had 16% more agents if you compare that to the stagnants. Number 4, remember we said 6 targets here for higher growth with customer experience. Okay, that's what we call here the famous frequently asked questions, right? Yeah, that helps center up. You probably all know, okay. And that's, Dasha, very good to your point when you mentioned, depending on the generation, especially the new generation. So if your startup has a product, right, your market's more like to the younger generation than to the older generation, they will prefer not to have human contact. Once again, if you go older people, they prefer human contact. So here, if you create your own, that's the tip that we say, launch your top 5 questions, grow to 30 articles per month, and keep adding as you go. So when we say frequent asked questions, not only the frequent question and the response, but giving content. This will be also good for your Google ads and other strategy of marketing. Keep putting content with these most important things that people are asking. You will see, and I remember very well when I was a founder, that the questions would repeat. It's kind of sometimes even scary, right? Oh, but once again, I have 100 clients, let's say customers, and I have only like 5 kinds of questions. I have a guy from Mississippi asking the same kind of questions for me regarding my business. There's another guy in New York and maybe another guy in Florida. How does that happen? I don't know, but there is like a magic in business. When you have your famous product market fit and you find your market, you will see that the questions and doubts are always there repeating. I don't know, sometimes it's 5 that are repeating, sometimes are 10, but are never 200. So you will identify the things that people are normally asking. And it's funny because we consider ourselves humans, right? We consider ourselves so independent, and then we see that everybody's asking the same things, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, but it does
Something is
really
there.
help, right? Because when you're looking for some piece of information and you go to the frequently asked questions, you can like solve the issue easily without even,
Is that
bothering
because,
yourself contacting anyone.
and it's almost like magic. So how did they know that I was
Aha,
because we saw that question happening all the time, so we already put it here. So create content, create those frequent asked questions, and build that up to become higher growth, better than stagnant, of course, right? You can see here the number of articles, for example, on you have the green graphic against the red. Look at the difference from fast growth on your left, right? And slower growth. You can see that it's they must invest, and they do invest in self-service. So don't lose that perspective here. Okay, for 24% more self-service content in first 24 months. If you compare again, now the darker line is higher growth, the lighter line is stagnant. You see the difference between those that invest more in self-service compared to those that don't. Number 5, of course, integrations that increase productivity and streamline workflows. So, and this is one thing that Zendesk can help you, but of course the other competition also can. You will have one channel, one dashboard, and you will add other integrations. So the people who are attending, the people who are talking to your customers, they don't need to change from different channels or different screens, right? So integrations are very important. In Brazil, for example, WhatsApp integration is the most important. In the United States, we have others, for example, like Slack. These are the most popular integration that we saw. Slack, Jira, knowledge capture. It's very important for you to integrate and don't make your people use 300 items or apps. You have this facilitated by Zendesk, but of course by other companies. Use integrations. That's what the high growth companies did to grow more and more. So growing teams invest more in apps and integrations to put more data at the agent's fingertips. All right, wow. I think I'm 30 something minutes. Give me just 10 minutes more and then we can talk openly, Dasha. So be
Sure.
relentless about drive. Okay, thank you. So be relentless about driving down first reply times and resolution time. So number 6, and this is very obvious, and sometimes we just need to reinforce it, is that today's world, people are very impatient, and that's a pity, because I think we should be all more patient. There is that song, Just a Little Patience, right? Remember, Dasha, from, I think it was
That's just so funny.
yeah, I think we all need a little bit more of patience in life. But that's the true and strong reality, is that companies that reply faster have a better result than the others that are very slow, right? So what we aim here is 3 hours. So of course, again, that's the benchmark from more than 4,000 companies, the ones that have higher growth performance against the stagnant. They were responding first reply up to 3 hours and 8 hours for resolution. So imagine, I know it's not very easy, but it's the reality that we are bringing this to you. So if you have customers reaching out to you when you give just the first answer in 2 days or 24 hours later, and your competition is giving the first answer with 3 hours or even maximum 8 hours for resolution of the question or problem, whatever, of course, on average, you are not in front of the pack. So unfortunately here, the song Have a Little Patience won't be the case. So speed is number 6 of our tip. Dasha, target number 6
But
is
can I ask
speed.
a quick question? How to ensure that you drive down this time to reply? So what is the secret sauce here? You need to have a dedicated person, a special team, like how to make sure that
Exactly.
you actually follow this tip.
Yeah, you have two very good questions. So you have two important ways, of course, to approach this. First, and that's when we, of course, have, and that important parenthesis that I did about AI is very important. With the new product that we are launching, not even us, but the competition too, a lot of the things will be automatic, right? In the past, the chatbot was very weak, and the response from email was also a little bit weak. People saw that was a robot, and it was not very good. You know, it was a little bit not there. Now we are, of course, improving. So you have on your one side all these automatic tools that will sometimes understand the question, and that's what we're launching tomorrow, advanced Zendesk AI. It will understand the email, or understand the chat, or understand whatever income comes from question comes from the customer, and will understand the pattern and already have the answer given in almost like automatically, or if not automatically, with what we call macros that will give the agent, oh, this situation is repeated. You have three options. You click 1, 2, or 3, and just click, and the answer goes, right? So one thing is to have invested in the support. Remember, tip number one, have the support platform, having a company like ours or others supporting you in your customer relationship. And the second thing, I think we still need, I don't know until when, but we still need humans, what we sometimes call agents or customer success people behind this, right? So if you have, of course, in your startup, somebody that is focused with customer experience and customer success, will be much easier than the companies that don't have. So my answer to you, Dasha, is mixing the technology and automatic intelligence and artificial intelligence we have today with somebody, at least depending on the size of the company. If it's very small, one person would be enough. Depending on the side of the company, you will add more people. And remember, this person that you sometimes feel, oh, I'm putting some paying a salary, oh, it's a cost. No, it's revenue, because it's cheaper to maintain people happy, and they will do the mouth to mouth to others and bring new customers than spending money on growth, but having, you know, a open bucket, as we say. You put water, but it goes all down, and that doesn't stay in your company. So the two things are very important, Dasha, here.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, and yes, ooh, look at that, unicorns. So people talk to us, okay, so you had 4,600 companies that you talked in your research, and that's research. You compare higher growth, stagnant, but is higher growth unicorn? Not necessarily, but what's the difference? So and even further deeper into the knowledge there and the data, unicorns. So the difference from unicorns to the others that were higher growth, from the 6.6 tips that we mentioned here, the difference was the speed. So they didn't do anything very different. And that's a good, right? Good, good sign for us, because sometimes all these unicorns, they have something magical that we don't know what they did, and we want to be a unicorn. When we talk, of course, about customer success and customer experience here, CX, they did the same things that I told you, but they were even faster when they did that. They implemented not in 1 year, they implemented 6 months. So being ahead of time and putting this subject top of mind for you, founder and founding team and people working startups, putting customer first, putting not only in speech, because some people say, oh, customer is my priority, is customer obsession, right? And then they don't have even a platform to take care of the customer. So same things, putting on focus, doing those 6 things that I told you, but faster. So omni-channel, they implemented 14% faster, right? Self-service, 41% faster, 41%. So live chat, 32, phone and text, 33. So that's the difference between higher growth and unicorn, doing the same things that I told you, but faster. To wrap it up, let's review the best practices. So getting out of the inbox, of course, it's number one, getting a platform, stop responding only by email and have a platform like Zendesk or others. Make easy to reach you, build a plan before go live, help customers help themselves, integrate your tech stack, and strive for speed. Those were the 6 things that we mentioned today to the team here. And to finalize, Dasha, from my side, I think we're hitting almost 45 minutes now. Maybe we'll leave 10 minutes for 5-10 minutes to comments. But of course, we have Zendesk for Startups in partnership with TheVentureCity. So you all that are here, if you want to grab your phone, if you are convinced that you can try and want to try Zendesk, you grab your phone, you scan the QR code, and you will have 6 months for free from our, and not only the Zendesk's customer experience software, but also as a plus, you'll have the sales CRM. So if you scan this QR code, and you'll see that it's a very easy form to just fill that form. You get 6 months for free because of a partnership with TheVentureCity, and you even have 30% discount after 6 months. So you have 18 months of benefits between Zendesk and TheVentureCity. We want to help you, the founders and startup teams, to grow and to be better with your customer experience. Of course, you also have access to dedicated office hours and connection with our community, Slack, and events from founders and partners. I think that's it for me, Dasha. I don't know.
Yeah. I just wanted to focus everyone's attention one more time that Zendesk is our friend partner, that you should definitely benefit from this offer. And I just would like to remind that in our Notion we have a list of partners. So if you have any questions regarding Zendesk, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll help you to connect you with Arthur if you have any questions or would like to use any services. And also, Arthur, I got a question regarding this presentation. Would it be possible to share the slides with the audience?
Of course. Fantastic. Yes, I will send you after this.
Yeah, if
Dasha,
you can.
I will send to your email and you can share with everybody.
Yeah, perfect. And also, guys, do you have any questions right now? So if you don't, you still can think about it. I just wanted to ask you, Arthur, to maybe summarize, because we've been talking a lot about practical tips about how to deal with the customer experience, how to pay attention to this more. Just maybe to give us like 3 main tips from your side regarding the importance of customer experience in relation to the growth of your company specifically.
Exactly. I think we spoke about 6 different things. Those 6 different things were not a matter of opinion. It's not myself or any other from Zendesk saying, oh, you should do this or that. It was research with more than 4,600 companies, right? And as a summary, let me go back here. I think we have this slide, right? So getting when we say get out of your inbox, it's go out of the responding only by email. Because when you start, I was a founder, when we start a company and people start to reaching you out, probably they will send you emails and you have the founder or some co-founder, whatever, are responding to questions and doubts. Or so get out of that and implement the platform, the support platform. Of course, we are Zendesk, we're saying you should implement ours, but if you don't like, for some reason, there are others. Make it easy to reach you. We talk about omni-channel, remember, Dasha, every channel. Older people like telephone, younger people like self-service. That's where we go to help customers help themselves. The frequent last questions, the content, bringing content will help them to solve their own questions, but also to put you in the map of Google Ads and other content that will impact your marketing as well. Integrations, as we say, that integrate your tech stack. Depending on the country, some of the best integration of WhatsApp, some of them are Slack, but use a platform that you can integrate different apps. And last but not least, the speed. That's the final tip. And we showed you all that unicorns, they do it faster, right? Everything that we said, have omnichannel, have self-service, have people after you put your amazing advanced AI that we're launching tomorrow again. We're launching tomorrow the chatbot that will be in partnership with OpenAI, so it will be a very intelligent chat. But even after that, if it doesn't fix, put somebody with live chat behind that, right? So that's are the main things that we spoke today, Dasha. But as a founder, I would say that customer, of course, the customer obsession is very famous with, for example, Amazon, right? Jeff Bezos and say, oh, customer obsession. And I see a lot of other founders saying that customer is the most important customer. But when you go inside and you check what the company is doing, it's only, you should walk the talk, right? So don't just say, do, and start that with putting customer first and putting a success or customer experience platform like ours or others that will definitely give you the best experience. For me to finalize from my side, you probably had this in your life that you had two options. One was a very nice product, even better than the second, right? You have two options, A and B. The first one, product or service, was amazing, better, the best, but the support was terrible. The experience was very bad. On the other side, you had one that, yes, good, of course, it's not bad, it's good, it's enough for you. But people are so nice with you. They help you all the way. The journey was fantastic. The experience fantastic. You sometimes go with the B, and you go with this one. So that should be top of mind for everybody here. Experience can sometimes surpass the quality of the service or product. So invest in that.
That's a very important point. It's like when you're choosing between two restaurants, one with amazing food but poor service, another one with food that is okay, but the service is amazing. You will probably most likely choose the second option because you just like the way you're being treated, right? That people pay attention.
The experience, right, Dasha? That's why we're saying here, create an experience, customer experience. That's it. We don't have to go high-techy and thinking AI, or of course that's good, but if you go back to the restaurant that you very well said, if you go to a very bad food restaurant, they can give you whatever, you won't go back. But if it's good enough, right? Like sufficient.
Yeah, exactly.
The experience is amazing. Sometimes you will go back here and not on the other one that the food was fantastic, but they treat you badly. You waited 2 hours in line. The waitress didn't come. You were screaming for help. Same thing for us startups. That's, I think, the final message for everybody. Invest, see that as a growth lever, not as a cost.
Yeah, and so one more question I just got. Let's wrap up this wonderful session with this question. So at what stage should you start working with platforms like Zendesk? So if you're a founder, so when is it the right time to do so?
So we said that in the very beginning of our presentation. I will go back and see and show you.
Thank you so much.
So, and was tip number 1, right? 10 months. So, Arthur, where did you? No, it's not, I'm not inventing. I'm not saying because I want or like. Remember, this was a research for more than 4,000 companies. 9 to 10 months after first fundraising. I had an angel, pre-seed, seed, depending the size, of course, but the sooner the better, right? Add a support platform within 9 to 10 months after fundraising.
Does it depend on the number of customers that you have?
Same, 100%. Of course, for example, a joke that I do is like, why don't you have this number depending on revenue? And my answer to you always, let's say I am a B2B company, right? My business is B2B, and I have one customer, an enterprise customer, enterprise bigger. and they pay 100,000. Let me just invent that here. They pay 100,000 dollars per month, and I say, oh, my MRR is 100,000. And when you look to another guy right next to you, and also a B2B, but they have 100 clients paying $20-30 a month, who do you think needs more the support platform, right? So it's not the 9 to 10 months. It's an average, and of course taking a lot of the different sizes of the companies that have mixed this big one with a smaller one, and understand that between that time, or even after 2 years being founded, you will see in the parentheses below, but without funding, normally they start to have a number of clients. So it's more number of clients than revenue or anything else. If you have one client, you know, my client's name is John, he lives in the street, he pays me, I will call him, and okay, it's fine. The moment you feel that you don't have, you don't even know the name of the person anymore, right? You're receiving hundreds of people. Oh, it's not like John anymore. You don't even know their names.
Yeah.
It's an eternal joke that we say, when you don't know any more of their names, that's another situation that you probably be paying attention. But bringing that to timeline, it's normally 9 to 10 months after your first fundraise.
I like how you put it this way. If you don't know the names of your clients, it's time to think about implementing a platform like Zendesk.
Exactly.
And, one more question. So do you help with implementation in terms of workflows, processes that need to be defined to the support to really work?
Exactly, we do. So let me go back to this point here. If you go here and you, of course, scan our QR code, you will see that the third point there on the screen will say dedicated office hours with Zendesk experts. So we will help you with implementation, depending, of course, normally on, as we are talking here more, not late stage startups. When we talk late stage, because we do have, you imagine, for example, Uber is our client, or big startups that are not smaller startups anymore. So the implementation is a whole process and project, right? So that's a different thing from us here. Here, normally we are more in early, mid stage. So normally are things that our team and our partners can solve for you, most of the times for free. If you are a grown up and you're bigger and bigger and bigger, sometimes down the road, you will need to have, and we bring this partner, we have a supply chain of partners that do implementation for you. And sometimes you have to pay, but I don't think this audience here will pay. I don't know all the names of your companies and where are you now, but probably you are early, mid stage, maximum. So you will be supported by us and won't have any cost with that. So yes, the question.
So that's amazing. So Arthur, thank you so much. We had a very, I would say, tailored and private discussion here. So I'll be waiting for the presentation from your side to share, as well as the video recording with the founders internally. And of course, if I receive any other questions, so founders say thank you.
To me. Yes, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, if anyone has any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. I will connect you to Arthur. Arthur, thank you one more time again. And by the way, next week, we're going to have the second part of this series of sessions with Zendesk about B2B sales. So it's going to take place on May 17th. So please feel free to join us. Arthur's colleague, Alan, will be the speaker. Yeah, thank you, Arthur.
Thank you very much, Dasha. Thank you very much, all that came and left and come back, because I saw people come and going, but it was a pleasure. I hope people also see this recording. And don't worry, I was a founder. I was part of a small startup team. We know that the time is very, very tight. So I don't feel, I feel that if you want to put your camera, good. If you don't want to put your camera, I think at the end of the day, if one sentence or two are there in your mind now, improved your life, that's the role that I came here to do. So Thank you very much.
I agree with you. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much and see you next week at our next session. Bye bye. Have a
See you,
wonderful day.
Dasha. Bye bye. See you, team. Ciao, ciao.